keep looking at all your various scenarios, previous one and this one as well, and the disposable personal income varies greatly in all the different scenarios that you're talking about. But if you had an overall reduction of however many, whichever proposal it is, it's relatively the same. How does that change so dramatically? If you're having a tax cut, wouldn't it remain relatively similarly close to the 180 million in the governor's proposal, or in this one 200 plus? Why is it so all over the board?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. So the reason is that the tax cut is being modeled in different ways in these different scenarios. So for example, in this blended approach, largely speaking, and then in the purely personal income tax approach, the direct impact on the economy is going to be people having a larger disposable income. So for example, in this case, the 276 plus million is going to be, that tax cut is going to be an increase in disposable income. And so, but for example, and so that's going to show up directly in the economic results. And then there's going to be plus or minus on top of that. When we look at, for example, at the scenario 3 and 4 that are looking at the personal income tax cuts as just cutting business taxes, or rather business costs. And again, that approach is looking at businesses see that they're able to pay workers somewhat smaller raises and kind of allow workers to kind of just keep up and remain unchanged. But now that they're facing lower taxes, for example, they don't have to pay their workers quite as much. And so they're able to lower their labor costs while workers see no change in their disposable income. So it's kind of the flip side of it is it that businesses are paying them the same and they're getting more of that to take home, and that's an increase in disposable income? Or is it that they're being paid less, taxed less, and those canceled, and they have no change in disposable income, but businesses see a decline in their labor costs? So those are the different approaches. In one of them, there's this large increase in disposable income, but in the other, there's going to be no direct change in disposable income. And the only change in disposable income is going to come from changes in overall personal income from the economy expanding. And so
you basically don't know what businesses will do or won't do, whether or not they'll not give raises or give raises at the same pace as what they're doing before. But you're not really anticipating anybody actually cutting across the board their wages necessarily, just their overall labor expenses will go down.
Right. So the idea would be right. So largely speaking, you're not going to want to take a cut in a given year. You're not going to want to cut somebody's pay. But what you can do kind of year on year is maybe start to give smaller raises in order to keep your labor costs lower. That would be one approach where you're seeing in principle you could think of it as kind of no change in what workers are taking home after taxes, but businesses are able to save. And so the driver of economic growth is going to be more from the business side and not from the demand side of people spending more. People are going to end up earning more income and spending more, but that's not going to be the impetus for the growth. And so in these different scenarios, the change in disposable income is going to look very different, just because of what is the stimulus of what is the main stimulus of the growth.
So in any of these scenarios, do you have anything where you're breaking down private sector versus government sector? How much more money is in the economy, whether it be government sector spending or private sector spending, and what sort of an economic growth factor that produces?
Yeah, so we have, for example, here we've broken out impacts, for example, of employment by private sector in aggregate versus government sector. So we report that for all of these scenarios, and certainly we can go back and that can be converted into, say, output in the government sector for spending in the government sector versus output in the private sector. So that conversion can be made. Here, presented to you, it's in terms of jobs in different sectors, but of course that information can be made available.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.